Today, we're going to unravel the incredible story of Pakistan's traditional clothing. And believe me, this is about so much more than just fashion. We're talking about history, identity, and just some breathtaking craftsmanship woven into every single thread.
You see, in Pakistan, what you wear is a language. It tells people who you are, where your family comes from, and it connects you to centuries of tradition. It's a story you wear on your back.
So, with such a diverse country, where do we even begin? Well, we'll start with the one garment that you can find pretty much everywhere. The common thread, you could say. And that is the shalwar kameez. It's the national dress, worn by both men and women all across the country. But think of it less as a uniform and more like a canvas. It's the symbol of national unity, for sure, but it's also the starting point for all kinds of amazing regional creativity. So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with that common thread. Then we're off to Sindh to check out some ancient block prints. After that, we'll head to Punjab for its gorgeous flower work. Then it's on to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for some footwear that made global headlines. We'll tie it all together with a unifying garment and then ask the big question: how does all this tradition survive today? All right, let's dive in. Our first stop is the province of Sindh, which is home to a textile tradition that is just ancient. I mean, its roots go back to the literal dawn of civilization in this part of the world. And when I say ancient, I'm not kidding. We're talking about a continuous thread that's over 4,000 years old. People in the Indus Valley were growing cotton here way back around 2500 BC. But the craziest clue we have actually comes from a tiny statue that somehow survived all that time. Take a look at this. This is the famous priest king from Mohenjo-Daro. Now look closer at the pattern on his robe. That three-leaf clover design, it is shockingly similar to patterns still being made today in a local craft called Ajrak. It's a direct link to the ancient past. So what is Ajrak? Well, it's a very special kind of block printing that you can spot from a mile away. It's known for these super deep, rich indigo and crimson colors and these really complex geometric designs. But it's not just a pretty cloth. It's a huge symbol of Sindhi culture and hospitality. And the process is intense. Artisans have to painstakingly carve these detailed patterns into wooden blocks. Then they use this really complex, multi-step dyeing process with natural dyes to get the final print. The result is just this stunning, iconic cloth. Okay, from Sindh, let's travel over to Punjab, the agricultural heart of Pakistan. Here, we're going to find a totally different kind of textile art, but one that's just as beautiful. We're talking about Phulkari, which literally means flower work. And what's so special about this is that it didn't start as a business. This was a personal, domestic art. It was a tradition passed down from mothers to their daughters, made by women for their own families. The real soul of Phulkari is in the details. They'd stitch it on this hand-spun cotton called khaddar, using this pricey silk thread. But here's the part that blows my mind. The women didn't draw the patterns on first. Nope. They had to create these incredible designs by meticulously counting the individual threads of the cloth. I mean, can you imagine? Finishing a piece was a huge milestone for a young woman, and these shawls were worn for the biggest moments in life: births, weddings, you name it. And it gets even deeper. The embroidery itself could tell you about someone's social status. A simpler style, like the cluster stitch you see on the left, was common for lower-class families. But that super intricate darning stitch on the right, that was a sign of the upper class. The technique itself was part of the story. Of course, you can't have an outfit without the right shoes, and in Punjab, the go-to is the kussa. It's this beautiful, handcrafted leather shoe with that iconic curled toe. You'll see people wearing them for everything from a trip to the market to a huge wedding celebration. All right, from Punjab, let's head northwest into the more rugged terrain of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. We're on the hunt for another piece of footwear here, but this one has a wild story about how it ended up in the world of high fashion. Meet the Peshawari chappal. This shoe is pure genius in its design. It's all about comfort and durability. It's made with soft leather straps, and get this, the sole is often cut from a recycled truck tire. I mean, talk about built to last. So, in 2014, this humble shoe suddenly became the center of a massive global debate. A famous British designer, Paul Smith, released a sandal that looked almost identical, but he was selling it for £300. Well, the internet exploded. People were furious, calling it cultural appropriation, and thousands signed petitions. Eventually, the designer changed the product description to say it was inspired by the Peshawari chappal. So, we've jumped around and seen all these incredible, distinct regional styles, but now let's talk about a garment that really pulls everything together, one that represents a kind of national elegance. This is the sherwani. It's this long, fitted coat for men that actually came about in the 19th century, and its history is a fascinating mix. It's like they took the regal style of the old Mughal courts and blended it with the button-up front of a European coat, a total fusion of styles. And the sherwani really is a great unifier. A guy might wear his local style day to day, but for the big moments, like his wedding or a major state ceremony, the sherwani's the go-to choice for formal wear, no matter what part of the country you're from.
Oh yeah, this garment has some serious status. It's officially the national dress for men. It was famously worn by Pakistan's founder, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and to this day, it's what top government officials wear for state occasions. You can still feel that regal, courtly vibe it comes from.
Okay, so we've looked back at all this amazing history and tradition, but it kind of makes you wonder, right? What happens to these ancient crafts in the 21st century? How are they holding up in our fast-paced world? And that's where we see a real clash. On one side, you've got the old ways, slow, careful, intricate hand craftsmanship using natural dyes. And on the other side, you've got the pressures of the modern world, the demand for fast fashion, for cheaper prices, which leads to synthetic dyes and watered-down designs. So that leaves us with this big, lingering question. In a world that seems to value speed and cheapness over everything else, how do we make sure that these slow, meaningful, ancient stories that are literally woven into the fabric of a nation, don't just unravel and fade away? It's definitely something to think about.